Hello and welcome back to yet again another video. Guess what? It's cold outside to the point where it's time to be wearing long sleeves. Like, I don't even know what to say anymore. It's September. It's what? Mid-September, second week of September. Why is it so cold? Hashtag Canada problems. Anyways, today we are gonna have like a little chit chat once again, and we're gonna talk about something that was requested and I think it's kind of important to talk about. So what exactly are we talking about? Well, we're going to be talking about the dangerous side effects, or just like the downsides in general, of all these popular diets that are exploding and like everyone thinks they are the way to go nowadays. So I've had kind of a bunch of people telling me lately that they're trying out the keto diet, intermittent fasting. I also see people on Facebook doing like the boiled egg diet or the juicing cleanse, or oh my gosh, like the list goes on, and it literally, I hear it and I see it and I want to hit my head against the wall. Like, it just boggles my mind. So let's first talk about why people do these diets in general. A lot of the times they're promised really quick results, lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks, get rid of bloating, feel better, energized, this and that, and like the list goes on. And a lot of the time it's advertised by people who aren't even qualified nutrition professionals. And so a lot of the time people see these diets on the internet being promoted by someone who's done it, someone who's had good results, good outcomes, and they're like, okay, I want to try this for myself because if this person had this outcome, then I must as well. And guess what? I'm here to tell you that it doesn't work that way. There is no one size fits all. There is no this diet works for this person, so it's also going to work for this person. A lot of the times when I even have conversations with my friends, they're like, okay, so what do you offer? What can I tell my friend that you do? And it's like, well, like this is the gist of what I do, but if we're talking about specific recommendations, I can't really tell you because I don't even know what I'm counseling this person on. I don't know their lifestyle. I don't know anything about them. So anyways, why am I so against these diets? Well, for the most part, they promise fast results. They can be detrimental in the long term. So for example, let's talk about the keto diet. A lot of the people are so convinced that the keto diet is like the next big thing, and it has been getting a lot of popularity. But to me, it's something that needs to be done really, really, really carefully under the supervision of a medical practitioner alongside a dietitian. And the only time that I really see the keto diet being appropriate, other than for the medical part of it, which is for epilepsy, the only part that I see the keto diet being appropriate for weight loss is when you actually have a lot of weight to lose and other approaches haven't helped. So because the keto diet promotes a really high fat diet, the problem with this is that a lot of the times people think, okay, high fat, so let me eat all of this fried food, let me go to McDonald's, let me have fries, and let me just consume a typical Western diet. What people don't know is that when it says high fat, it's actually talking about higher levels of the healthier fats. So if you're replacing your diet in which you were probably eating more nutritious foods, and then you're going to change it and have more fatty foods because this is what the diet told you. The problem with that is that when you're replacing things in your diet for things that are maybe not as nutritious anymore, that's where I kind of start to get a little worried. If you're gonna do something like the keto diet and you wanna be having these higher fat items, what I recommend is replacing it with higher fat nutritious alternatives. So having nuts and seeds, as well as sources of fat like olive oil. So do you see where the distinction is? So some people think, okay, keto diet, I'm gonna have high fat, deep fried, fatty foods. Whereas really it's just the promotion of high fat, but using healthier fats. And that's just one example. There's so many of them. There's the intermittent fasting one, which has been getting a lot of attention recently, and there's also positives and negatives to that as well. There's also things like the raw food diet. Again, why are we consuming raw food? If you're talking about like raw fruits and vegetables, yes, sure, people do that regularly. But if we're talking about raw meats and fish, that's where I'm kind of like, okay, we know that there's foodborne illnesses in these products, so why do you think that it's okay to consume them raw? Another thing that literally drives me crazy is when I see people saying, well, it worked for so-and-so. Okay, it worked for them. Is it gonna work for you? Or do you have the same body as this person? If this person told you to jump off a mountain, are you gonna jump off of the mountain? No, it doesn't work like that. A lot of these diets can yield in something that may happen in the future. So for example, let's use a keto diet again. If you're replacing it for those high fat, fatty, deep fried foods, okay, maybe you see the weight loss right now, but let's think of what our future is going to look like. We're going to have higher levels of saturated fat. We may be at risk of heart disease. It's just things that you don't see right now and you may not know of because you may not have gotten the full information or the true facts on what you're doing. You're going to compensate and you're going to pay for it later. And as a dietitian, I don't want you to do that. I don't want that to happen to you. I don't want you to be that person. So it's simple. Eat whole grains, eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, consume lean protein sources, have nuts and seeds, consume a lot of fiber, pretty much following the Mediterranean diet. It's been researched and it's been known to be one of the most effective diets for weight loss and overall general health. So why don't we do something like that rather than putting on restrictions and saying, this is what I can eat, this is what I can't eat, this food is good, this food is bad. No, let's think of it as, okay, this food may be not as nutritious and this food is highly nutritious. So which option am I gonna have? I don't like to label my food into categories. I don't like to restrict myself. I don't like to say that I'm on insert here diet. I don't like to say any of those things. I've tried it before. I've tried to limit myself from all those sweets and goods and all of those baked products and no deep fried food, and can't do anything that, you know, like it was stupid. It was stupid of me because then it backfired on me and I found myself craving those foods because my dopamine wasn't being stimulated anymore. My body was literally craving those foods, and then I ended up overindulging and overeating. So why would I do that to myself? Why can't I just enjoy all foods, enjoy everything in moderation, and don't limit myself, don't restrict myself, and don't tell myself I gotta follow this certain way of eating so that I can lose 10, 20 pounds. My advice to you in the end is, if you really do want some nutrition advice, seek a registered dietitian. Speak with someone who knows what they're doing. I've said that many times before, but honestly, we really do know what we're doing and we want to help you. So please, for my own sake, don't indulge in one of those popular diets. Have some flexibility. If you really do want to lose weight, you'll do it in a way that's sustainable, not in a way that's gonna maybe restrict you or cut out a certain food group for this period of time, but then when you want to reintroduce it into the future, you're kind of like, oh no, what's happening? Why am I gaining all this weight back? I think my rant is over. I get really heated when I talk about these things, so I was trying to compose it. But I hope that makes you realize how important it is to, one, make sure that you're consuming healthy sources of foods and not limiting yourself from anything. Two, don't put labels on food. Food is there to nourish us, really, and it's there to give us energy. It's not there to define us as a person or define our patterns of eating. With all that being said, I hope you take what I've said into consideration. I'm not here to hate, I'm just here to promote a healthier way of dieting or losing weight or whatever reason it is that you're doing this. I'm just here to promote a healthy alternative and not to restrict yourself from anything or to say, I can't have this, I can't have that. I'm just trying to be realistic about it. So please send this video to your mom, to your grandma, to your friend, to your neighbor, to your dog, to your cat, whoever it is. Send this video to them. And until next time, I will see you then. Bye!